Home with God, Chapter 6. Whatever you do not believe what is said here. So some paths are better than others. Less arduous is a factual description. Better is a judgment, which observation brings us to the fourth remembrance. No path back home is better than any other path. Are you sure? Please, dear God, please. I need you to be certain about this. Nearly every religion on the face of the earth says exactly the opposite. I say to you again, so that there can be no lack of clarity. No path back home is better than any other path. All paths take you there, because all it takes to get there is true desire, a pure and open heart, and faith that God has no reason to say no. You may not be with me. To any person for any reason, least of all because they've simply believed in God in a different way. All true religions are wonderful, and all true spiritual teachings are paths to God, and no one religion and no one teaching is more right than another. There is more than one way to the mountaintop. Religion was created by human cultures to assist those who are born into those cultures in knowing and understanding that there is an ever-present source of help in times of need, strength in times of challenge, clarity in times of confusion, and compassion in times of pain. Religion is also a manifestation of humankind's instinctive awareness that rituals, traditions, ceremonies, and customs have enormous value as markers that assert a people's presence in the world, and as the adhesive that secures that presence by holding a people's culture together. Each culture has its beautiful and singular tradition honoring a beautiful and central truth, that there is something larger and more important in life than one's own desires, or even one's own needs, that life itself is a much more profound and far more meaningful experience than many people at first imagine, and that it is in love and mutual concern and forgiveness and creativity and playfulness and the joining of hands in a united effort to achieve a common goal in which will be found the deepest satisfactions and the most wondrous joys of the human encounter. Take then, each of you, your own path to me. Undertake your own journey home. Do not worry or render judgments about how others are taking theirs. You cannot fail to reach me, and neither can they. Indeed, you will all meet again when you are together at home, and you will wonder why you quibbled so. Oh, and we have argued, haven't we? We have argued endlessly. We have quarreled, and we have fought, and we have killed, and we have died because we have insisted that ours is the right way. In fact, that ours is the only way to heaven. Yes, you have. Yet now, here you come to tell us that no path is better than any other path. And I must gently ask, how can I believe this? How can I know what to believe? Whatever you do not believe what is said here. I'm sorry? Do not believe a single thing I say. Listen to what I say, then believe what your heart tells you is true. For it is in your heart where your wisdom lies, and in your heart where your truth dwells, and in your own heart where God resides in most intimate communion with you. I ask only one thing. What is that? Please do not confuse what is in your heart with what is in your mind. What is in your mind has been put there by others. What is in your heart is what you carry with you of me. Yet you can close your heart to me, and many have, and many also have closed their minds. And please, do not tell others that unless they believe what is in your mind, I am going to condemn them. And finally, whatever you do not condemn them yourself on my behalf. We keep doing that. We don't seem to know how to stop, and we're putting ourselves through sheer hell. Yet now here is the good news. Humanity need not go through hell in order to get to heaven. We do not have to even walk into those confusing woods where we have to mark the trees to find our way out. We can walk around them. That is correct. No matter how beautiful and tempting those woods may look from the roadside, I don't have to step into the thicket. I don't have to get lost in them and then try to find my way back out. That is right. You do not. Every day I promise myself that I am going to stay on the path. Yet every day I am tempted by life to get caught up in all manner of dramas, having nothing to do with who I am or where I am going. Before I know it, I'm in the woods again. And you're not out of the woods yet. I know. I keep hearing the words of Robert Frost in my head. I've heard them before, but now I hear them in a new way. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. So come with me now. Let us journey together into the clearing, so that at last you can tell the trees from the forest. Okay, on the journey to clarity we go. I have found myself in the woods. I have stumbled into the dark forest of my own conflicts and confusions. And I truly want now to get back home. But isn't the shortest path the better path? I mean, isn't shorter better? And what is the shortest path? In order to answer this question, we have to define what we mean by home. What exactly is this home to which people seek to return? Most people think that going home means returning to God, but you cannot return to God. because you never left God, and your soul knows this. You may not know this at a conscious level, but your souls know this. But if my soul knows that I have no need to return to God because I never left God, then what is my soul trying to do? What is the purpose of life on earth from the soul's point of view? I can tell you in 4 words. Your soul is seeking to experience what it knows. Experience what it knows. Your soul knows that you never left God, and it is seeking to experience that. Life is a process by which the soul turns knowing into experience. And when what you have known and experienced become a felt reality, that process is complete. Home, it turns out, is a place called completion. It is the complete awareness of who you really are through the complete knowing and the complete experiencing and the complete feeling of that. It is the end of the separation between you and divinity. This separation is an illusion, and your soul knows this. Completion can therefore be defined as the moment when separation ends, the moment of your reunification with divinity. This is not really a reunification, because I have never not been unified, but it can seem like a reunification if I have forgotten this. That's right. In the moment of reunification, what occurs is that you simply remember who you really are and experience that. So in a sense, it is a returning to God, but in figurative terms only. In strictly literal terms, it is a returning to your awareness of the fact that you never left, that you and God are one. Yes, and returning to awareness is a twofold process. Awareness is achieved by knowing and experiencing, which produces feeling. Awareness is the feeling of what you have known and experienced. It is one thing to know something. It is quite another thing to experience it, and still another to feel it. Only feeling produces full awareness. Knowing alone can produce only partial awareness. Experience alone can only produce partial awareness. You can know that you are divine, but when you experience yourself being divine, then your awareness is made complete through the living of that feeling. You can know that you are any aspect of divinity, for instance, that you are compassionate. But when you experience yourself being compassionate, then your awareness is made complete through the living of that feeling. You can know that you are generous, but when you experience yourself being generous, then your awareness is made complete through the living of that feeling. You can know that you are loving, but when you experience yourself being loving, then your awareness is made complete through the living of that feeling. Many times I've said, I just don't feel like myself today, and now I understand exactly what that's about. When you do not feel like yourself, it is not because you do not know who you are, it is because you are not experiencing it. You must add experience to knowing to produce feeling. Feeling is the language of the soul. Awareness of self is achieved through the complete feeling of yourself being who you really are. And awareness is a twofold process. There are two paths by which it is achieved. A soul arrives at complete knowing along the path of the spiritual world, and at complete experiencing along the path of the physical world. Both paths are needed, and that is why there are two worlds. Put them together, and you have the perfect environment within which to create complete feeling, which produces complete awareness. Home, it turns out, is a place called completion.